I certainly have been very, very fortunate with these incredible serval cats, and to have one in the morning sunlight like this is a real treat. We more often find them after dark, but they do move during the day. Like most predators, they may be more active at night, but not necessarily only active at night. And we are going to try and see if we can stay with this incredibly beautiful little cat. They're interesting animals. They've got long legs, but are almost kind of the size as a domestic cat's body, it's fair to say. But you can see they're quite long and slender. Very big round ears with those beautiful white bars on the back of them. It's one of my favorite marks or markings on the serval. It'll be looking for small rodents, maybe birds, and look at it listening very intently there. And I tend to find that they go from bush to bush looking for possible prey. And as a rodent, I guess you'd probably base yourselves in and around a bush. And a lot of the birds, of course, will nest in these bushes. So they kind of go from bush to bush searching for any possible prey. Is it going to have any luck in there? Well, sadly, we can't get much closer to it than where we are here, so we just have to be patient and see what it does. Oh, cool. What can you hear in there? You can see it's very, very focused. Oh, wow! What did it get? What is in your mouth? Look at the feathers falling down. I think it's got something in its mouth, Mona. See if you can stay tight on its head. Oh, don't do that. We might have to try and do a slow motion replay to try and work out what it went for and what happened there. I definitely saw what seemed to be a feather popping down, and that was one of the coolest things I've ever seen, and certainly the coolest thing I've ever seen a serval do. Shoo! Took me completely by surprise. I thought it was going to pounce into the air and then land in the grass, but it just went straight high up into that bush and seemed to catch on to something. So you'll be glad to know Kirsty in the final control and all of her helpers, I'm not sure who they are exactly today, are busy prepping a little slow motion replay for us, so we'll be able to look at that and work out, or at least try and work out what it went for. But it must have been a bird. Let's see if we can't see. Let me reverse a bit. I'm just stopped with one of the park rangers here. He was also enjoying the sighting. And actually, if it wasn't for his presence, we wouldn't have known that it was here. Let's see if we have any luck out there. Sure, that was the coolest thing. It's the first time I've ever seen a serval pounce like that. I've lost track of which bush it was. It was that one there, hey, Manu, I think, yeah, and it took it off that high branch. So it's just too far away from us now at the moment, sadly. But what an incredible scene it was. And to be able to witness a serval pounce live like that all the way from the Maasai Mara, I think is a huge, huge blessing for everyone who is joining us on this safari. Let me just make a bit of space here. Aya bwana, sante. Okay, well, the good news is the team up in the final control have already whipped together that slow motion video. Apparently it's difficult to work out what exactly happens, but I think it's still going to be epic to see the serval leaping into the air in the slow motion enjoy. So, like I said, tricky to work out exactly what it was, but it must have been a bird of sorts, because those are the only creatures that have feathers. And you saw a little cloud of feathers. I'm surprised. I mean, it could have just been a tiny, tiny bird that had literally just like swallowed whole in a mouthful. because nothing flew away. And I didn't get a good enough look to see if there was actually something in its mouth, but it didn't appear that there was anything in its mouth. So, bizarre. Yeah, bizarre. Maybe it just swallowed like a little bite-sized finch or small bird like that, a little warbler, who knows, but the fact that it could sneak up on that bird and snatch it off that quite high branch is a good example of how athletic and what good hunters those serval are.